you. You will now be placed into conference. To mute your line, press *6. To unmute, press #6. To unmute your line, press *6 or #6.
No,
to
you're
unmute
not muted.
your line,
Yeah.
press *6.
Can everybody hear me okay?
Or #6.
Again, my name is Rachel Fish, so that's a little bit about me, and welcome to today's What's New webinar on Sage Accounting. We do these monthly just to give you a little bit of an update on all of the different changes and things that are coming up with Sage Accounting. And sometimes we find, especially because we've already started our tour, which I'll talk about in just a little bit, sometimes we find that that some of the features that it already has and that it's actually had since the beginning are either getting better or we're just getting a lot of questions about it. Features that Sage 50 doesn't have, for example, or other accounting products. And so today, actually, we're really going to dig into one of those things. It's not new. It's not an update. But we're getting a lot of questions on it on this tour that we're having across the country right now. So here's myself. I'm Rachel Fish. I'm the accounting group leader for Sage in Canada. Started at Sage July of last year. Prior to that was at Deloitte. Prior to that had my own firm. Prior to that was in industry as well. So I'm really excited to kind of take all of that experience and help you guys out building your own firms and helping you find solutions for your clients as well. If you guys could just all make sure that you're muted, that would be awesome. My partner in crime is Mark Hubbard. I haven't seen this picture before. Nice purple tie there. Mark's actually been at Sage for 19 years in various roles, so it's really great to have somebody with that amount of experience who knows the community, of course, in the way that he does, as well as sometimes how to navigate the company and its systems and processes. Has been a huge help for me as well. So if you want to connect with him on Twitter, it's at Mark Hubbs, or email mark.hubbard@sage.com. Just a little reminder that Sage 1 is now called Sage Business Cloud Accounting. And so whenever you see any of that kind of wording, it means Sage 1 if you're used to that terminology as well. Although we could probably stop saying that because we've had so many people start subscriptions with a brand new name that they didn't even know that it was Sage 1, so that's awesome. I'm really excited for today's webinar because we have a very special guest. Dustin from Payment Evolution is here, and he's actually going to give us a bit of a demo. Again, this is one of those things. We've been a partner with Payment Evolution for a little while now. They are our exclusive payroll partner for Sage Business Cloud Accounting. We're so proud to be partnering with them. But we do get a lot of questions about payroll and how that works with Sage Accounting because it's not in product the way you might be used to with other programs as well. So I'm just going to switch my screens over. I'm going to hand the reins over to Dustin, and he'll get started on a demo. Hold on. I'm just going to switch my screens.
All right. Hi, everybody.
Hello. Everybody's muted.
It's all good. It's all good. Thanks for having us here, Rachel. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, my pleasure. I'm just trying to, it looks like my screen got hidden here. I'll stop sharing. That will probably help. Give me my screen back. I'll change your role to presenter.
There we go.
See something changing. Yeah, you're good?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So
awesome.
I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. I had a little bit of a presentation here set up, but we can definitely dive in right into the demo if that's what we prefer. One of the things that people really like to know, the questions that we've been getting relayed back by, a lot of our Sage partners here, is what are we doing? What are we, who are we, and what can we really provide for them? So I'm sure that some of the information that's already been relayed, but just so you know, we're essentially a tech company that provides payroll solutions for businesses out here in Canada, specifically exclusively in Canada. We're homegrown. We've been around for 10 years. We have over 20,000 businesses that are using our tool, and on top of that, we have the ability of doing other core products like group benefits for our clients, and also as well as doing vendor payments within our tool, and a couple of other key things. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of go into an account so we can kind of show you what it all looks like, because many people have already been able to see maybe the tool or been heard of the tool, like on those certifications or tours that Rachel had just mentioned. We have a test account, of course, that we're going to be logging in, so we can go ahead and log in, and you'll be able to see essentially almost what an accounting professional would see with a multi-company list with all these different accounts. So we're going to go into a very special one called Sage Test, so we can show you what the tool looks like, what you can expect from it, and then obviously show the integration of how we send over the information over to Sage Business Cloud Accounting. So you should be able to see on my screen right now basically our homepage per se. One of the things that people really like is the ability to, let me just make sure I can X out of here. So you can see what we need to do to set up. It is a wizard-based system, so right from the get-go, the system will prompt you to actually take a look at and fill in some basic information like your company profile and bank details and, things like, different payroll options like, rules or benefit or deduction, things of that nature in the payroll section. And also the payroll options, of course, are like, adding other details, further deeper details of the account. And, of course, there's our add-on section, as you can see right there, where you can conveniently connect to Sage Business Cloud Accounting. Aside from that, people usually set up the account and then they add some employees. You'll notice that I've clicked on the employee tab and I have a couple of employees here, Sage 50, Sage 1, and 1 employee, as you can see there. If we edit them really quickly, just so you have an idea of what they look like, you'll see that you can actually be more specific and drill down into the necessities of the specifics of that specific employee. You'll see things like personal information, and also what type of employee type they are, or do they have a special role, like a payroll manager or such if they're running it themselves. And in this case, I'm assuming that accounting professionals will be managing the tool for their client. So I'm glad to say that that's an option that is definitely, we're happy to make sure is executed for you guys. And of course, you can also even put in the payment details here below if it's doing direct deposit or if you're paying the employee via check. You'll see this Paychecker option. This is one of our core products that we are able to include into the cost and the subscription of the tool. It's an online employee portal where you can set up the information and then they'll be able to see the current pay slips, past pay slips, and also tax forms, whether it be T4s or T4As or RL1s for Quebec. Just to give you an idea. Payroll details and rules, you can see that if maybe you have an operation, maybe your client is operating out of BC and they have an employee in Ontario, we can be specific and put the right tax tables and all that jazz. And as you can see, you can even, at the bottom here, where it says jail account, you can put the proper jail for the department that they're maybe working for, so when you send out the information, it's going to be nice and categorized properly. You can add benefits and deductions. And you can include the financial year to date. Of course, people who are using us, let's say at the beginning of the calendar year, can start with this nice and fresh, but many times people are coming over from different other tools, and you can put in their information per employee, and then when you go ahead and create T4s, which the system can do as well, T4As and RO1s, everything will be nice and there will be continuous flow, right? You'll have all the information ready, and so you can actually be able to process those tax slips with ease and with continuity from the information that you had from the prior system. So let's go ahead and kind of show you what everyone's looking for, right? How to run a payroll, within Payment Evolution, and then see what it looks like in Sage. Sage Business Cloud Accounting. I was about to say Sage 1. I almost got tripped up there. As you can see, we have the payment date. So obviously it's a fictitious account. So we're just going to go ahead and kind of click on the right date. You can also click on the different payroll types. So obviously you'll be doing a regular run here, but we have the ability for bookkeepers and accounting professionals to be able to do a manual to reverse and a special to correct if there was a scenario that you needed to do that. We select the pay cycle, and we'll select the next dates here so that we can run the payroll, even though they're slightly behind. And once we click on it, you'll notice that we can see our employees that are salaried. We can go ahead and approve them by clicking on the little checkbox and clicking on the Approve button, and it'll go green or blue depending on the screen resolution. And you'll notice that it'll say regular hours, the amount of hours for your salaried individuals, and the total amount that they're going to be receiving in pay. You can also get into the time the timesheet employees. So let's say we have an employee that only worked a couple of hours there. As you can see, we can do it on a daily view and input the hours that they've worked and make corrections since everything is editable. But we can also go to the aggregate view or the bulk view, and instead, if you feel that the hours that they're being put in, you can actually put in the proper hours, of course. There is the ability to import via CSV and other tools. So, if it makes it easier to import, that's fantastic. And again, let's go ahead and approve. After we do that, we can go to the calculate stage. So this is where all the magic happens. And you'll notice that the system will ask if you want to calculate the payroll using your company defaults, and the answer is yes, unless there's, of course, some custom calculations that you've developed when you set up the account to run specifically. It does its magic, and you'll notice that it's simple. You'll be able to see the employees being paid with their deductions and the gross, total gross and the net pay, and you can drill down specific to them and see what they were paid. Gross total, as you can see, the total taxable, all that jazz. Let's go ahead and see the next employee, which is our salary employee. His name is Sage 50, which is kind of funny. You'll be able to see the information there, summary, and of course, contributions. This is a review stage, of course. There is one semi-overview page, what we call the payments side, where you'll be able to make sure that you see the proper, when you want to, select the processing date, like the check and stuff, like the check date. If we had set up a bank account here for direct deposit, which is something that we're able to do, you're able to see the date here because it's a fictitious account and we don't have that set up. You're not seeing that. But in step 2, you'll notice that we can confirm the payments for our employees. If we had that bank set up, we can easily set the payment types to bank. But clearly, because it's fictitious, we're not going to. We're going to leave it as checks and then review to make sure everything is proper. You'll notice that the gross wages and net will be here. Employee deductions will be shown as well, and the employer contributions. You can enable a PIN if you want to, but we're just going to go ahead and finish off this pay run and authorize. And I have the option of sending it to our employee, our online employee portal, so that the employees can receive a notification to see what the next pay, the pay slips is going to look like, what their next pay is going to look like. In this case, because we're just going to be sending off a random email to a test account, we're not going to do that, but we're going to go ahead and authorize it. Once authorized and processed, you'll see a pie chart, and the pie chart lets you know that the actual tool has been finished and it's done its payroll, and you're able to see all the information reflected in the actual reports. The one thing you will need to do is end the period, close the period, and it's going to prompt me to say, hey, do you want to export your add-on to your accounting software? So it still says Sage 1. That'll be changing, of course, to Sage Business Cloud Accounting. So we're going to go ahead and hit Next. And then the system's going to let me know once it's been exported. Let's go ahead and log in, shall we? So we can see what it looks like. Oh, yes, we want to allow that, of course. It's a bit weird there. Let's go back in really quickly. I just want to make sure everything was done properly. Fantastic. So let's go into General Ledger here, where we know we can send out the report just in case. We just processed today. We created it. We can send it. We want to go to GL just to confirm. Fantastic. The system is letting us know the export to Sage 1 or Sage Business Cloud Accounting has been completed. Let's go log into our Sage account here. So we're going, obviously, letting us know Sage 1 is now Sage Business Cloud Accounting. We'll log in, put in your credentials, and once you log in, as you'll be able to see, once we click on Journals, which is where the information will be, we just had the right pay come through. This is my prior test one, of course, but there it is, and then ready for you guys to use and ready for you guys to take advantage of and integrate into Sage Business Cloud Accounting.
Awesome. Aside from that, thank you so much for that, Dustin.
Yeah, you're very welcome.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, aside from that, of course, people usually ask us about the reports and the other functionality. Of course, everything would be updated as per the last pay run, so, you know, people can take a look at all of that jazz. And the great thing here, too, is that if you have clients that have used Payment Evolution in the past, and maybe you're now connecting to Sage 1, you can actually, the GLs can, prior GLs that have been processed in Payment Evolution can be sent as well to Sage Business Cloud Accounting.
Awesome. So if you've already started using Payment Evolution but you haven't connected it to your Sage yet, you can still go back and push it through?
That's correct.
Cool. One of the things that I know has come up, like some really great feedback, is about the ability to go in and make the changes that you need to without having to call support. Like, so it really is more of a self-service payroll solution, right?
That's absolutely correct. Yeah, and when you do leverage our support, you know, they're quick to answer the phone and really friendly and really helpful. So, you know, where sometimes support can be a little frustrating, we're glad to say that, you know, we're not that way. We're pleasantly accepted, and a lot of people are surprised of how fast they can get a hold of us.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Destin. We will have a survey going out to everybody, so if you would like to know more information about payroll, or and if you would like to connect with these guys. Didn't you also mention you had a Facebook group, Justin?
Yes, I did actually. Yeah, thank you for that. We do have a Facebook group. I'm going to show you really quickly, and we can get into it right now. And you guys can all join, as you guys are, of course, accounting professionals, so specifically for bookkeepers and accountants. And we can actually have the information sent. Actually, I think you have the information already, Rachel. If you don't mind, you know, doing a quick notification of who can join. People can also just go to Facebook and search for Payment Evolution Bookkeepers and Accountants and request to join. So it'd be fantastic to have. We have a great group of peers that help each other out. People have been here with us for a long time, and also people that are new. And I'm glad to say that it's super beneficial. A lot of people really like the fact that there is that peer activity. And we're also very active on it ourselves, myself and my colleague Kinga, who try to help out as much as possible, of course, when we're online. We get the notifications all the time, so we're very quick to answer.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you so much, Destin. I really appreciate that. So if you could go ahead and stop sharing your screen, and I'll come back and we'll do a little bit of a demo here as well.
I've disengaged.
There we go. Yeah, awesome. Cool. It just took a little while to actually switch it over, but I think we're good now. So hey guys, everybody, it's Rachel again. So just to talk about some of the new features, and actually what I'm going to talk about isn't totally new, but I'm going to talk about analysis types. It's something that we're getting a lot of questions on the tour, so I thought it would be good to actually dig right into the product and just go through what they are and how to use them. So I'm actually going to switch over to Sage Accounting. First of all of you guys have access to Sage Business Cloud Accounting Accountant Edition. If you would like instructions on how to do that, we have our own Facebook group, Canadian Sage Advocates, and we have, if you go into the Files section, and also I posted a video going through the instructions as well, and then scroll down to, we've got creating a new Sage Accountant Edition. And so that gives you this Accountant Edition that you see here. So I can manage all of my clients from it. I've got sample company files here. I also have a version of Sage Accounting that I can use for my own firm, which is awesome. So this is definitely what you want to see when you log into your Accountant Edition. If you see something different, then maybe let me know, because this is the new platform and we want to make sure that everybody's updated. So right now I'm going to just go into the sample company file, which is actually what we've been using for much of the training session. And then to access the company file, I'm just going to go ahead and click Access to actually get into the data. And then I'm going to go to my settings on the far right-hand side, And in the financial settings area on the left-hand side, I'm going to click Analysis Types on the right-hand side. You'll notice that there's actually two different kinds of analysis types. We've got transaction analysis, and then now we actually have a more robust group analysis. So this is the one that actually gets lots of people really excited, but I'm going to start at the beginning with the transaction analysis. You'll notice that for each of these analysis types, they're fully editable. So the examples that you have here are department, cost center, and project, but you really can call them whatever you'd like. So click on the little pencil. Instead of department, I'm going to call it segment or whatever I'm going to call it, or sales region or one of anything. And you can see that you actually have 3 different items of those. You can also see that you've got multiple categories within that type. So if I've got segments or if I've got sales territories, for example, I could have my little short code here for what the sales territory is, as well as the long name like that. As I add more items, so here, let's say so I've got manufacturing, I'm going to do B for bookkeeping. Notice that as I keep adding analysis types, more keep coming up. So I'm going to do another one for HR, human resources, right? So these are really, it just keeps adding more as you keep adding analysis types. Next, we can indicate what areas you want active for this analysis type. So we've given you 3 defaults here. Again, you can name them whatever you want, but you can either use them all for the same type of transaction, or you can use them for completely different types of transactions. So on this side, for example, I can say if I want to be able to use this analysis type for my sales transactions, like invoices, credit notes, for my expense transactions, like my bills and supplier credits, for my banking transactions, and also for my journals. So let's say that I want to have them active for sales and expenses, but not for my banking transactions. And so you can just inactivate that. And again, all of those, each of those on the left-hand side give you exactly the same option there as well. You know you've been successful when you get that green bar at the bottom that shows you that it's saved okay. So these are the ones that you want to be using within the transaction. But the group analysis is a little different. It actually allows you to group different, for example, customers, vendors, or products. Again, these are fully editable and are just default names only. They can be changed to be whatever you want. But one of the things that we've seen is that a lot of them are using them for customer groups because it's actually something that you can't do in Sage 50. So here, for example, if I'm doing a customer group, I want it to be my customers, and I want it to be my vendors, but I maybe don't want it to be categorizing my products and services. So I really only want to identify it based on my customer contacts. What this means is that I can group my customers in certain ways. Let's say that you want to have all of your retail customers reported in a certain way, or all of your wholesale customers reported in a certain way. So this is different from price levels because price levels are really more product-based, but this is the ability to group different contacts, including products and services, in multiple ways as well. Okay, so that's just kind of how that works. Let me go to a customer and I can show you how that works. So I'm going to go to my customers. Oops, no, I do want to save that. And then I'm going to go to my customers. If I click on the contacts, it's going to give me all of my customers and my vendors in one list, right? But if I use the drop down and select customers, then it will just be that. Now I'm going to go to Bob Smith. And now when I go into my options on the right-hand side, I can now edit these analysis types, see how I've activated customers and vendors and product groups all to be connected to my customer list. So I can go ahead and edit that, and now I can indicate what group I think Bob Smith should belong in, right? Whether it's retail or wholesale or however else you want to categorize or group your customers. So that's how it works on the contact screen. Now let's take a look for how it looks on the transaction screen. Remember, we've got those 2 different types. We've got your transaction analysis, and then we also have your group analysis types. So let's take a look for your transactions. So I'm going to create an invoice for Bob Smith. I'm going to sell some custom sprockets, apparently. And notice here on the right-hand side, there's this little double arrow. If you click on that, that's what will unlock those transaction analysis types. So you're not going to see it right within kind of the chart or the body of the transaction, but we actually just click on the little tab, the arrow on the right-hand side, and then, of course, use the drop-down to select whatever option you want here, and then go ahead and save, or, of course, save an email. When you have a payment provider set up, we also now have a Pay Now button. So there you go. And then, of course, I can now report on the transaction analysis types, whether it's reporting on a certain group of customers or reporting on the transactions that belong within different analysis types there as well. I just want to scoop back to our PowerPoint because we only have 1 minute left. Again, these are the other updates that I was talking about. We've done a lot of updates to emailed sales documents. So you can now view the document in a responsive layout, more like an online presence, optimized for display on mobile phones and tablets. Remember how much we talk about how our clients actually use their phones to run their business? You can now pay an invoice using a single Pay Now button after you've enabled credit card payments. So whether that's through PayPal or also through Sage Payments, known as Paya, then you can do that with the Pay Now button as well. You can print the document directly from their web browser once it goes to your client, and you can download the document as a PDF as well. Here are some of the differentiators for Sage Accounting that we've seen. And of course, these are things that we're really proud of, and we actually need to go through and make a more comprehensive list because we actually have a lot of features that other accounting products don't have. But one of the ones that we're most proud of is the 99.98% uptime. So this is really truly the most stable and compliant solution on the market. Just another reminder that we are out on tour, going coast to coast. So we've completed the training in Prince George and Nanaimo. Next week, we will be in Halifax, Saskatoon, Moncton, and Regina. And then the week after that, again, we continue all across the country. So actually 18 cities across the country. And that tour is going on all the way till June 14th. This full day is training all about Sage Business Cloud accounting. So that little tip that I showed you about using analysis types, you guys will be talking about that, as well as learning the entire product from end to end. We're getting a little help this time around on our Sage Accounting training tour with trainers, expert trainers like Anna Abruzzese, Diane Mueller, and Remy Gauthier, a colleague who will be doing all of the Sage, the French sessions, as well as a couple of English ones. As well, in each of these cities, you will see myself or one of my colleagues, either Mark Hubbard or Jamie Rain, will be joining in these cities as well. So it'll be a really good mix between product training as well as some Sage knowledge things as well. We will be in Vancouver for the CPA BC Spring Pacific Summit, so if you happen to be around, please come and say hi. We would love to see you. Again, my name is Rachel Fish. If there's anything that I can help you with, please reach out by email, rachel.fish@sage.com, and Mark is mark.hubbard@sage.com. And as always, we would love for you to join our Facebook group as well. Our next monthly WebEx is coming up on June 15th. So we'll make sure in everybody's response email that you will all know how to sign up for that one as well. Again, so if you wanted to pencil, same time, but this time June 15th, which is our next update for you guys as well. Thank you so much for coming out. Thank you so much, Dustin and Kinga, for joining us. I really appreciate it. So stay in touch. We'd love to hear from you. And stay tuned for a survey coming your way, as well as we would love it if you would join our Facebook group as well as the Payment Evolution, just to be able to help out our peers and get more information that way as well. Thanks, guys. Have a great month, and see you back here on June 15th.